Lastly, we can look at changing time units in exponential functions. When we need to change the unit of time for our exponent, we need to identify a unit equivalence. For example, if our time unit is years, but then we want to transfer it to months, we have to make sure we know the equivalent 1 year is 12 months. A little tip, when we're converting from a larger time unit to a smaller time unit, we need to make the exponent smaller by dividing it by the conversion. But if we're going from a smaller time unit to a larger time unit, we need to make the exponent larger by multiplying by the conversion. And then we can always double check that the two expressions give us the same values when evaluated using equivalent amounts of time. So consider we have a model for the number of members in a club T years after it opens. We want to rewrite the equation for the number of club members M months after opening. So we want to write it from T years to M months. Well, since we're going from a larger to a smaller, that means we're going to divide. And let's think about it this way. You want to be able to evaluate the equation for some number of months. Well, if I want to plug in a value, say M equals 24, and I want to be able to use this value as my exponent. Well, in order to take the months of 24 and use it in the original equation for T, we have to take 24 and divide it by 12 in order to get the equivalent number of years to use it with the formula. So, since months divided by 12 equals T, we can then substitute the exponent with M divided by 12 in order to get the equivalent expression. Same idea. We want to model the population of a bacteria culture, H hours, and turn it into days. So since we're going from hours to days, a smaller to a larger, we're going to multiply. Think about if we said, what is the population 3 days after incubating? Well, in order to use that with the original units of hours, we have to multiply days by 24 hours in order to get the appropriate number of hours. So, since days times 24 is equivalent to hours, we can rewrite our new equation with the time units of 24 times D. Last but not least, we want to change months into years. Since we're going smaller to larger, we need to multiply. Well, if I have some number of years and I want it to equal the number of months, I have to multiply it by 12 for it to be equivalent. 12 months in a year. So D equals 200, 1.16 to the 12y.